What do you think of that? We better wake up, folks. And you know what I loved about this? NASA painted in an arrow to show the direction of the energy, and they painted in a green arrow. And you know what's also interesting about that? If you look closely at it, it looks like a brain. And you know what NASA says this is? The most bizarre thing they've ever photographed with Hubble. They said it is a cosmic crossbow. But what can you do? It doesn't make any difference. People don't care because my church doesn't believe in it. That's obvious, but I mean, that's not the point. The point is, it's time when you're going to have to choose. I had to abandon religion because I wanted to find God, and that's my job. Now, the point here is, according to NASA, if you have electrons in the pineal gland of your brain. If the electron is stimulated, it will respond to the photon. Now, don't let that get you screwed up in your head, because it's very simple and it's nothing to screw you up. Very easy. A photon is an angle of light. You used to call them angels of light, coming down from above, and it's a messenger particle. That's what science calls them, and it impacts you at the pineal gland of your brain. But you've got to activate that pineal. You've got to do something. If you don't, then how are you going to get the message? Let me ask you this. If the mailman comes to your house and he puts the mail in your mailbox, are you going to sit home and say, well, I know there's mail there, but I'm not going to the mailbox because my pastor doesn't believe in it? Of course not. You're going to go to the mailbox. Well, you're going to go to the mailbox because you've got mail. Did you ever go to America Online? You don't have mail. You've got mail. But you know what? Unfortunately, you're not picking it up. And it's piled up in there. And some of the mail, some of the messages in there are how to overcome things that have been coming against your life that shouldn't be. But you've got to pick it up. And there's nobody who can pick it up for you. Don't forget, you're not allowed to go in somebody else's mailbox. Let me just show you something. Let me show you overhead 266, page 1. And we're getting ready for a special guest in just a minute. I just want to show you something. Here, okay? This is from the National Aeronautics and Space Agency. I don't use New Age stuff here, and I don't use religious stuff here. I want people that know what they're talking about. And I have found in both of the other groups I have problems. Okay? So I'm talking about the pineal gland. There are electrons in your pineal gland because there are atoms. Okay. So you want to stimulate the electrons in your pineal gland to receive the photons, which is the messenger. Is that possible? Bring that up a little bit, Joan. Here's what NASA says. Photons of light, okay, photons can respond to electrons. I don't want to hear anything from anybody else. I don't really care what anybody else says. I know there's electrons in your pineal gland. I know there's electrons in your body. And I know that photons are angles of light, which are messenger particles. And NASA has said photons can respond to electrons. Now, how are you going to stimulate the electrons to get that photon to respond to it? Angels of God, messengers of God, responding to things that happen inside of you. And this shouldn't frighten anyone, because all the time I've been in church, you know, you see people like this. Or they're kneeling down and they're going like that. What are they doing? Really, what are they doing? They are trying to make contact with God. Something is going on inside of their head. Sometimes they take and they put their head in their hands, or something, whatever they're doing. They're trying to make something happen inside of their head. Well, now we see how it's done. When an electron is active in here, it invites the photon. Now, since angels of light or God or light, it would seem reasonable till we take this into the darkness and stimulate the pineal gland. The question is, however, is it possible to stimulate a part of the body? Can you do that? Because if you can't do it, then Jesus is saying, if your eye be single, you can forget that. I'm going to turn that off. Al, if you get a chance, you want to turn this light on. Is it possible to direct desire to a particular part of the body and get it to do something that it's not doing? Specifically, would it be possible for you and me to stimulate the light receptor of the body, the pineal gland, because if it is, then NASA has told us we're going to attract the